Good afternoon, guys. Today we'll be doing asthma, and hopefully, if time permits us, we'll also go to bronchiectasis. So I'll chart out a pathology flowchart, diagrammatic flowchart of asthma. You can screenshot it if you want to. It can be helpful. So it'll be easier for me to explain it as well, and for you to understand as well. I hope. So how does this fellow start? Now, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Cool. Chalo. Now, asthma, I told you, is a reversible allergic condition wherein your whole tracheobronchial tree, so all the way from your vertical, the whole tracheobronchial tree, so from your trachea to all the way up to the last alveolus in your lung, all of them can be sensitive, specifically hypersensitive, in which what will happen is we are recording, right? Yeah, we are recording. Uh, Hold on, let me check once again, just in case. Yeah, we are recording. So what happens in this is because of an allergen there will be a inflammatory reaction which in turn will cause some reactions that you will see on the bird row. Okay, so we will, this is a reversible condition. Okay, keep that in mind. Now depending on where you can stop it, it will exacerbate only to a certain extent. So if someone has an inhaler with a corticosteroid or an anti-inflammatory drug or a bronchodilator, you will study about the drugs next week anyway. But one of those drugs, if they are able to consume it in time, then obviously it will not exacerbate to a condition where it is life threatening. If asthma is not stopped in time, it can be a big problem. All right, and this is an episodic disease, meaning there will be episodic attacks. So abhi hua, so after that, after a while, you don't know when it will happen again. The next episode of asthma cannot exactly be predicted. What you do know is that there might be some allergens that might cause this, so you would want to actively avoid such. So for example, if someone has dust allergy, so obviously they would want to avoid try to going into a dusty area kind of thing, because they know that will trigger an asthmatic attack. But in general you cannot exactly tell what will what you call when this episode will come. Hypersensitivity can be tricky in that sense. What will happen in that is the patient will not be able to breathe, so there will be dyspnea, there will be a lot of cough, because they are not able to breathe. There will be continuous bronchospasms, and the person will keep on coughing, and they will wheeze because they are not able to breathe properly. They will what you call, they'll make their mouth slightly in, they'll make a slit like thing in their mouth, so basically they'll not be able to breathe. So they'll put a lot of effort into breathing, that will make a wheezing kind of sound. If any one of you have ever seen a asthma patient, you will know what is wheezing. Okay, it is coughing along with difficulty in breathing, which through which a patient is forcefully trying to take air in and push air out, inhale and exhale basically. So that will cause wheezing. It, you will have proper sound when wheezing is occurring. Okay, now, generally speaking, asthma affects both men and women equally, but it will affect vertical boys more than girls. So, when we come out to adults, the vertical effectiveness or the amount of number of people that are affected by asthma will be the same, but uh, children, boys will be almost twice as more affected than girls. So, for every two boys of asthma, one girl of asthma will get affected, to put it bluntly. Okay, now coming to etiopathology of asthma, cause leading to pathogenesis, that is the etiopathogenesis. They are broadly into two categories, two main causes through which asthma occurs. Okay, one will be extrinsic and the other will be intrinsic. Right, I'll write it down. You have your extrinsic asthma, or let's just put extrinsic and intrinsic type. Right, these are the two. Extrinsic again will have some subtypes, but will not go too much into detail in that. These are the two main types. What is the difference in between them? These are also called atopic. See, extrinsic is also called atopic or allergic. Intrinsic is also called non-atopic and idiosyncratic. We'll first come across extrinsic. What does extrinsic asthma or allergic asthma or atopic asthma mean? As the name suggests, it is because of an allergen, right? This type of asthma will manifest very early in life. So either it will manifest in childhood or in young adult life. So you will get to know very quickly if someone is in what you call, let's suppose in their teens or maybe in tweens. So that is 20 and teens के बीच में. late teens. So that or maybe earlier childhood, as like 5 6 years old. So if they come across that kind of allergen, it will trigger a asthmatic reaction that will be classified under extrinsic asthma. It is also called atopic because the person has a genetic tendency for allergic disease. Atopy जो है term ATOPI ATOPY, sorry, this term specifically means that there is a genetic tendency to develop an allergic disease. So generally this will be in people who have some family history of allergy. Okay. Generally atopic kind of allergy will happen in people whose family members are already having some kind of allergy. It can be any other type. It can be rhinitis, it can be eczema, it can be any other thing. Okay. Rhinitis is common cold. It's specific kind of dust allergy that will cause cold, right? So those will be atopic. They will be classified under extrinsic type. Right now, there are a few other things that can what you call act as allergens as well. The other day I told you, animal danders, pollen, dust, all of them can cause. Sometimes they can be occupational irritation as well. For example, some industrial workers, they will be allergic to fumes. Okay, allergic fume. What you call to gaseous, basically chemical fumes and chemical gases, organic and chemical dust. All of these will cause what you call or trigger asthma. One important point about extrinsic asthma is this fella will be mediated through uh, IgE. Okay, IgE antibody will play a main role in antibody will play a main role in extrinsic asthma. I'll explain what is happening pathophysiology wise, but that is about extrinsic asthma. All right. समझ में आया क्या बोलो? Did you guys understand what?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you please repeat it again?
Okay. See, asthma is a episodic condition wherein the patient is having difficulty in breathing, dyspnea because of a allergic reaction. Okay, in which their bronchioles and their what you call tracheobronchial tree is undergoing spasms. So there is spasm in that tracheobronchial tree. Spasm is transient contraction. Okay, so it will contract and relax, contract and relax. That is the spasm. So tracheobronchial tree will have spasms because of which they will not be able to breathe, and it will also trigger mucus production. So they will have a lot of cough and they will not be able to breathe properly, which will cause wheezing. That is asthma. It is an episodic reversible condition. So it will occur in episodes and you can reverse it based on condition. There is no proper cure for asthma. You need to keep on taking drugs until if you stop taking drugs, if there is an episode, then it will be a bigger problem that the patient can die if they are not taking any drugs because they'll not be able to breathe. So that is about asthma. Now, based on how asthma occurs, you will have two types: extrinsic and intrinsic. Okay, extrinsic type of asthma, it is also called allergic type because it is occurring due to allergy. Specific, the main marker of allergy here will be IgE antibody. All right. It is also called atopic type because these people who have extrinsic type of asthma, they will have a genetic tendency to develop allergic disease. So they might have some other genetic disease in their family which is not asthma as well. Okay, it can be dermatitis, it can be eczema, it can be rhinitis, any other type of allergic condition. Okay, now this extrinsic asthma will present itself very early, so it can occur in childhood or by young adult life. It will definitely start presenting itself. By then you will come across the allergen, whereas the intrinsic type is not the same. Okay, it will take a long time and it will generally occur in adult life or maybe in late adult life, and the causes are a little different. Like it will be post infection, especially in post viral infection, or it can be due to some drugs. Okay, because of a certain drug or something, it can happen. Extrinsic on the other hand is pure allergic. It can be allergy due to dust or pollen or animal danders or molds or fumes. So these will be occupational allergens: fumes, toxic fumes, gases, organic and chemical dust. All of these will cause a reaction from your IgE. I'll explain how the pathophysiology works, but this is the basic classification of asthma: extrinsic and intrinsic type. Okay. To tell you a little bit more about intrinsic type asthma, it is also called idiosyncratic, meaning we do not know exactly how it is happening. What we do know are some common factors that are seen in intrinsic type. Okay, it is non-atopic, meaning the patient will not have any genetic tendency for allergy. This is not exactly related to allergy itself, meaning the patient, अब समझो there is a certain patient, let's say patient number X, patient X, who has intrinsic type of asthma, and they are developing intrinsic type of asthma in their adult life, so somewhere around 30-35. Okay, and they might not have any history, personal or family history, of any kind of allergy altogether. Okay, but these people generally, at least what is suspected is, typically these symptoms will be presented after an upper respiratory tract infection, especially by viruses. So if there is a viral upper respiratory tract infection, or what do you call, if the patient has chronic bronchitis, it is associated with this type of asthma. Allergens play a very small role, though there can be one thing: some people are allergic to aspirin. Those fellows will be medical classified into intrinsic type. I'll explain how asthma will play a picture in this. All right, these are the two main types. You will also have a mixed type, but for now just remember these two. ठीक है, अभी समझ में आया what is extrinsic
Yes,
and what is intrinsic asthma?
yes, sir.
Okay, all of you, right? If you're not,
Yes,
if
sir.
any one of you are having any doubts, please do let me know. चलो ठीक है. Now coming to pathophysiology of this thing, we'll go over the basic pathophysiology first. अब समझो we have, let's start with blue. Right, now we have, let's suppose these are allergens. ठीक है, allergen is anything that can trigger an allergy. All right, I'll abbreviate it allergen. Now this allergen is coming in, you are coming in contact with this allergen. What will happen is, this fellow will stimulate your dendritic cells. This fellow will go inside your body, and your dendritic cell, I hope you remember what are dendritic cells. They are a type of antigen presenting cells. Remember immunity. Okay, don't ever forget immunity, because several diseases will have the background, or they will build up on immunity. If you don't know what you call inflammation and immunity, then it will be very hard for you to understand diseases. Okay, if you are having any doubt, then once go through immunity and inflammation once, it will clear a lot of things, how infections generally propagate. All right, now what will happen is, this fellow will come in contact with your dendritic cell. That's right. Dendritic cell is an APC. Dendritic cell. It's a antigen presenting cell, hence it's called APC. If you remember, I told you antigen presenting cells are those cells that will present a particular antigen. Let's suppose there is a pathogen that is coming into your body. That fellow will act as an antigen for the production of antibody. So what dendritic cell or APCs will do is, your macrophage is a APC, a Langerhans cell is a APC, B cells are APCs. Okay, what they will do is, they will literally what do you call, consume this allergen, and they will present it on on its surface, on the surface of that cell. Okay, so that your immune cells can come and engulf or destroy the dendritic cells itself, along with the allergen. Okay, if you remember last year's immunity, I told you dendritic cell, I'll draw it easier, hold on, easier for you to understand. Let's suppose this is a dendritic cell. What this dendritic cell will do is, it will engulf this allergen inside, and there will be a MHC molecule, MHC2 type, class 2 molecule. This fellow will come on the surface of the dendritic cell, and it will literally act like a crown. Okay, let's suppose this is the MHC2 molecule. Okay, MHC2. Okay, MHC2 type of molecule. This fellow will present your allergen on the surface of the dendritic cell. Okay, once this this allergen is being presented, your T cell or B lymphocyte, all of them can come and phagocytose this fellow, or destroy this dendritic cell along with the allergen. Okay, that is what APCs do. I hope that explains what APCs are. Okay, right. So you have your dendritic cell that is coming into picture. Let's do it in this color. Right, your right. Let's suppose this is the dendritic cell. What this fellow will do is, this fellow will phagocytose your allergen. Once it is phagocytosing your allergen, it will present this allergen using MHC2 molecule. This is your MHC2 molecule, MHC2. Okay, it will present the allergen using the MHC2 molecule. It's a protein. Okay, MHC2 molecule is a protein. It will present it on its surface. Now, when it is presenting this, you will have your T helper 2 type cell. Okay, if you remember, T cell has several subtypes. T helper 2. Okay, the subtype 2. T helper cell, this fellow will come in contact with your dendritic cell. So let's suppose this is your, okay, this is your T helper cell. This T helper cell will interact with your dendritic cell and it will cause a few reactions. Because this allergen is present on the dendritic cell, it will cause an abnormal reaction from your T helper cell, which will in turn release two things, interleukin 4 and interleukin 5. अच्छा, यहाँ तक समझ में आया क्या हुआ? Allergen came inside, it was engulfed or phagocytosed by a dendritic cell, which is an APC. APC will present that allergen on its surface. Once this allergen is being presented by the APC on its surface, your T helper type 2 cells will come and interact with the dendritic cell, which in turn will cause, because of the presence of this particular allergen, your T helper cell will act act abnormally and it will produce interleukin 4 and interleukin 5. These are mediators of inflammation, if you remember. All right, यहाँ तक समझ में आया तुम लोगों को क्या हो रहा? Okay, I'm not getting any responses. Did you understand or not?
Yes, sir.
Akka, all of you. How many of y'all are actually present in the class? There are like 8 people, but how many of y'all are actually seeing the board? There is, अच्छा ठीक है. Vinay? Vinay is there. Audio आ रहा? Yes, Sagar, you have a doubt?
No, sir, I'm present.
अच्छा 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 ठीक है. सागर आया ना, प्रेजेंट है. ओके, ये क्या हो रहा है एक बार एक्सप्लेन करो. If you're not giving any answer, that means that you understood what is happening. Just give me briefly an explanation. क्या क्या?
सर जो सभी जस्ट अभी ये हो
तो जब तो तुम्हारा ऑडियो काम कर रहा तो बोल रहे क्यों नहीं? समझ में नहीं आया या अभी आया या ये हुआ या वो हुआ बोल के?
जस्ट अभी आया था.
Okay, Vinay, what about you? Please explain what is asthma and what I explained till now. Briefly, in your own words. Very good. Vinay is not there also, I guess. Is he there? Vandana? Can you explain what is going on here? Yeah, in your own words, what did you understand about asthma? See, I will not know whether you guys are understanding, not understanding, attending properly, not attending in your this thing. If you want, switch your videos on. All of you. Hold on. Right. See, my video is there. Right. Switch your video on, all of you. I'm not sure how many of y'all are actually present as well. आइले याजिक ते कुछ चश्मा कब आया? What about the others? Anusha, Vinay, Cindy, Vandana is there. Anjali, video. Sagar, video. घर पे मास्क पहन के फिर रहे मियाँ तुम? Okay. Cindy, switch your video on. Anjali, you as well. असल इन लोगों का है क्या? इन लोगों का कनेक्शन बहुत वो रहा था हमेशा. Okay, Vinay is there. Then why are you not answering? Are you able to hear what I'm telling? See, until unless you guys tell from front you're not understanding anything or something, I will not be able to tell हो रहा क्या picture में बोल के. ठीक है, at least put it in the chat group if you want. Sir, my camera is not working. Who is this? Okay, ठीक है.
Working, sir.
नहीं, नहीं, someone else. Okay, I'll repeat once again. Listen carefully. Asthma is a episodic condition in which you will have hypersensitivity to any particular allergen. Meaning, whenever this fella is coming in contact with your body, you will have a lot of cough. Right? If you know what is asthma, then you will know the patients will cough a lot. Right? That is because of an allergen. Now, what is happening in this is this allergen will be consumed inside your body, where it is being phagocytosed by your dendritic cell. All right, dendritic cell is an antigen presenting cell. If you're having doubts about what is an antigen presenting cell, go over immunity once. Last year's immunity will do. Biochemistry में या physiology में I'm sure immunity पढ़ाए होंगे ना, तो go over what are APCs. Just basic what is APC. These dendritic cells will literally consume the allergen and they will present it on its surface. ठीक है, मेहमान आए तो ट्रे लेके कैसा ऐसा लेके जाते हैं ना लड्डू खाओ बोल के. The same way this antigen presenting cell will present that particular allergen to your immune cells. Okay, so that your immune cells can see this allergen and engulf this. Let's suppose this is the allergen and this is being presented by the antigen presenting cell, in this case dendritic cell. Your allergen along with the antigen presenting cell will be engulfed, or will interact with that immune cell. Here the immune cell is T helper cell type 2. Okay, the second type of T helper cell will come in contact with your dendritic cell, and once it is coming in contact with your dendritic cell, it will release two very particular type of mediators of inflammation. One is interleukin 1, the other is interleukin 5, interleukin 4 and interleukin 5, sorry. ठीक है, I hope यहाँ तक समझ में आया. Now we'll continue from here. You can continue the diagram. I'm just drawing it so that I'm erasing it so that I can draw the other part as well. Okay. Now where were we? Right. Let's suppose we are starting from IL-4. Now IL-4 क्या करता? This fellow will go and activate. Okay. One second. See, I'm using a double screen. That is why I'm not exactly using my this thing. Hold on. Keep your video on. I'm switching my video off because you'll be seeing a fan, not my face. Hello. So now what is happening here is IL-4 will in turn go and activate your plasma B cells. Okay? Your immune cells, one type of your WBC, granulocyte type, agranulocyte type will be B cells and T cells, if you remember. Okay? This will be plasma B cell. Right? Your interleukin 4 goes and activates your plasma B cell, which will in turn cause the activation of IgE. Okay, it will cause the activation of IgE antibodies, that AB's antibodies. Okay, so once these antibodies are activated, they in turn will activate. Let me use this, it will be easier, neater as well. These in turn will be activating mast cells. Okay, mast cells are tissue histiocytes. If you remember what mast cells are, mast cells will be activated by your IgE. They undergo degranulation. I'll write it here itself. They will undergo degranulation. So basically the granules inside a mast cell will come out. Okay. Once that is coming out, what will be released outside will be इसको जरा बाजू कर देंगे. Right. Right. What is released is histamines and leukotrienes. All right, these are two important mediators of inflammation. So यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा? We started off with an allergen that was coming and activating your dendritic cell, basically being phagocytosed by a dendritic cell. That dendritic cell presented this allergen on its surface. Once it is being presented on the surface, what will happen is your T helper type 2 cell, this fellow will come into picture, engulf the what you call dendritic cell, or it will interact with the dendritic cell, not just engulf the dendritic cell, it will interact with the dendritic cell and in turn produce interleukin 4 and interleukin 5. We are studying about what will happen to interleukin 4. Interleukin 4 is katha basically. what interleukin 4 will do is it will in turn activate plasma B cell. This plasma B cell will start producing and activating anti IgE type of antibody. Right? If you remember, plasma B cell ka function is production of IgE. So plasma B cell will produce IgE antibody, which in turn will go and activate your mast cells. Mast cells will degranulate and produce histamines and leukotrienes. This is all happening in your respiratory vertical near your bronchi and your alveoli. Okay, this whole inflammatory reaction is occurring in your alveoli, basically in your tracheobronchial tree. ठीक है, अब ये ल्यूकोट्राइन्स क्या करते हैं? These will go and act on your, these leukotrienes particularly are dangerous in asthma because they will go and act on your bronchioles. Okay, bronchi and bronchioles, specifically on their mucosa and submucosa. When leukotrienes come into contact with bronchioles, specifically the mucosa and submucosa of your bronchioles, what they will do is they will cause an inflammatory reaction where edema will occur. Okay, there will be mucus formation, excessive amount of mucus production, there will be excess mucus production, and there will be edema formation. Now, if you remember inflammation, when we studied inflammation long ago, I did tell you that whenever there is inflammation in an area, the nearby blood vessel will get affected, and the epithelial cell or the endothelial lining of that blood vessel will have gaps in it. If you remember, जब अपन tissue का inflammation पढ़ रहे थे, I told you that is how through diapedesis, the rolling and adhesion mechanism through which your neutrophils and WBC will come into tissue space. If you can remember the old part, or else if you are having confusion, go over inflammation once. Okay? That is why I told you the inflammation plays a very important role in such diseases. If you don't remember that, it will be very hard to learn this. Now, whenever there is inflammation, there will be endothelial gaps that are created. Through those gaps, plasma will flow out. That is how you are getting edema here. Because there's an inflammatory reaction occurring in that particular space, blood vessel is getting damaged. The nearby blood vessels are getting damaged, and there are literally gaps being created in the endothelial lining of that blood vessel. Because of those gaps, plasma will start flowing out. Okay? If you have a balloon full of water and you're creating poking holes in that balloon, obviously water will start spilling out. The same thing will happen with your blood vessel. If there are holes being created in your blood vessel, water will start coming out. Because proteins are large, they will not generally come out. If the injury is big enough, then proteins will also come out. But initially the gaps are just small enough so that only plasma can flow out. That excessive amount of plasma that will build up in your what you call lung, that will cause edema, or at least in that particular bronchiole. Okay? Now, other than this, there is another function. Ab histamine kya karta? Normally, you know that histamine all around your body, this fellow will cause vasodilation and smooth muscle dilation. Right? If you remember, in inflammation we studied histamine is a chemical that anywhere in your body it will cause dilation. Right? But there is one exception here. In respiratory tissue, histamine will cause smooth muscle constriction. Okay, that is the only exception of histamine. Histamine will cause constriction of smooth muscle in your respiratory tissue. Meaning, what will happen? I'll write this: constriction of respiratory smooth muscle. Right? Oh dear, not smooth muscle, smooth muscle. Right? Whenever there is constriction of respiratory smooth muscle and capillaries, not just smooth muscle and capillaries, so it will do the exact opposite function than the rest of the body. In the rest of the body, whenever there is histamine coming into picture, it will cause dilation of a basically vasodilation, and it will cause smooth muscle dilation. But here specifically, it will cause vasoconstriction, and it will cause smooth muscle constriction. Because of which, what will happen is, इधर है, अरे, right. Because of this constriction, airway narrows. right? There was supposed to be an air there, right? See now what is happening through IL-4. आपका plasma B cell is getting activated, which is in turn causing antibody, which is IgE antibody to get activated, which is in turn causing degranulation of your mast cell. Mast cell will produce two types of mediators of inflammation, histamine and leukotrienes. Normally, everywhere in your body, your histamine will cause dilation, but here specifically, it will cause constriction of your smooth muscle and capillaries, which will in turn, आपकी capillary, let's suppose it is, okay, I'll switch my video on for this. Right. Now let's suppose your capillary is this much. Okay. Whenever histamine is coming, your respiratory capillary and your respiratory smooth muscle इधर है समझो. ठीक है. Whenever histamine is coming into picture, this capillary will narrow and that smooth muscle will constrict. Okay. Because of this, what will happen is this airway will become smaller. Now, normally, if it is becoming smaller, it is not that big of a problem because eventually it will come back to its normal size. But here in asthma, what is happening is, if you can see the other reaction where what leukotrienes are doing, leukotrienes will act on bronchioles and cause excessive production of mucus and it will cause edema to be formed. Meaning this fellow is already constricting. Other than that, there is mucus being built up and edema being formed here, because of which your complete respiratory bronchiole or your terminal bronchiole will get blocked. If they are getting blocked, you will not be able to breathe. That is asthma. Right? I hope समझ में आया तुम लोगों को क्या हो रहा. This is one way. We still have to discuss what IL-5 will do. Did you understand what IL-4 is doing? All of you? All
Yes,
8
sir.
of you? बाकियों को क्या हुआ रे? किसी को भी क्लास में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है क्या? They are like 8 people.
Yes, sir.
समझा सर.
I don't mean just you guys. I mean the rest of B2. I do remember there were a few more of you than just the 8 of you in B2. So, well, anyway. Technically, I'm the class in charge of your class. तो जरा क्या तो भी हो रहा. मेरी क्लास में ये हाल है तो दूसरों की क्लास में और क्या हाल होगा. आधे आ रहे क्या, खाली आंखें दिख रहे, बाकी का दिख रहा भी नहीं. Well, anyway. Now I'll push this.
सर.
Yeah. Doubt?
हाँ सर, आफ्टर वो मतलब बिफोर मस्ट से उससे समझ में है. आफ्टर मस्ट सर, कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट इट वंस?
देखो IgE antibody बन गई, उन्होंने मास्ट सेल को एक्टिवेट कर दिया. Mast cell, let's suppose this is the mast cell. It has a few granules inside it. Okay, there will be few granules inside them. Imagine a small ball with sugar inside them. Imagine a rubber ball with sugar crystals inside it. Okay, if I break the ball, I am getting sugar crystals outside. It is breaking and spilling what you call sugar crystals outside. In this case, that rubber ball will represent your mast cell, will represent your rubber ball, and what do you call those sugar crystals that are present inside the ball will be histamines and leukotrienes. Normally, mast cell will have a few inflammatory mediators inside its structure. Those will be histamines and leukotrienes. Whenever there is inflammation, your mast cell will start degranulating, meaning it will start releasing the granules outside. Those granules will be inflammatory mediators, your histamines and leukotrienes. The first one, histamine, it will cause respiratory smooth muscle. Now, I hope you know what is the difference between smooth muscle, skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle. Okay, smooth muscle में उन्होंने क्या करता है? It will cause constriction along with capillary constriction, so vasoconstriction. In every place in your body other than respiratory system, histamine will cause smooth muscle dilation and capillary dilation, meaning vasodilation. Specifically, only in your respiratory system, it will cause smooth muscle constriction and capillary constriction. Because of this, itna hai capillary up and the surrounding smooth muscle that is present here. Okay, because of this, this capillary will become narrower and that smooth muscle will constrict. Okay, that is the first thing that is happening, meaning this airway is becoming smaller, right? Along with this, what will happen is leukotrienes that are being produced, these leukotrienes will act on your bronchioles, the same bronchiole, okay, and it will produce excessive amount of mucus and edema, meaning there'll be a lot of fluid being built up here along with mucus. If all of this occurs, this now agar ye hai aapka respiratory bronchiole, normally let's suppose if I'm taking a cross section of that and I'll draw it here, hold on. Right. Let's suppose this is the cross section of that bronchiole. Okay. Normally, because of leukotrienes, here is mucus. Let's suppose this much amount of mucus is being accumulated because of leukotrienes, and edema, we'll do edema in blue. Let's suppose there is a little bit of fluid being being accumulated here. This blue one represents edema and the yellow one represents mucus. यहाँ तक समझ में आ रहा?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now this is the normal size of the bronchiole. If histamines also come into picture, what will happen is now that same thing. Right. Now this same bronchiole is becoming this much in size. Okay. So what is happening here? That same amount of mucus will basically block the whole of the bronchiole along with edema. So there is no space for air to come out or go in. समझ में आ रहा? The whole bronchiole is getting blocked now. All right. That is the basic thing that will happen with IL-4. All right. Did you understand now what is happening? I hope this
Yes.
answers your doubt, Ajik. Okay. Okay, we have 3 minutes left. I'll explain the eosinophilic mechanism tomorrow. What will IL-5 do? All right. So I hope you guys understood today's class. They are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 8 people. Right. See you guys tomorrow.